So, there's a little section for the backstory here. Also, I think I will bump this down just like a teeny weeny bit on the volume mixer end. So they have like synopsis, terminology, and characters all on the main menu here. This is really nice. So let's actually go read through this. So, preface. Let's see. So, Trails to Azure backstory, Trails from Zero. A few months before the story of Trails to Azure, a seemingly insignificant event occurred in Crossbell City. A special support section was created under the jurisdiction of the Crossbell Police Department. The following summarizes the legend of heroes, Trails from Zero. So, Western Earth 1. Founding of the SSS. Western Zemuria, Crossbell State. The historic of many deadly territorial conflicts perpetuated by the Erbonian Empire and Calva Republic. Today, Crossbell has flourished into the trade and finance capital of the continent. Below the surface, the Empire and Republic continue to influence Crossbell's legislator. Corruption runs rampant, and an increasing number of officials have allied each nation. In the criminal underworld, the Mafia and a foreign crime syndicate are on the verge of all-out war. Oh, wait, is that like... Oh, is it just... Oh, here it is. Amidst the shadows, the disgraced Crossbell Police Department gathered 4 young recruits. Lloyd Bannings, rookie detective. Ellie McDowell, granddaughter of the mayor. Tio Plato, Orbital staff user. And Randy Orlando, former CGF playboy. This unlikely group was assigned to a new department, the Special Support Section. Together, they resolved to face the harsh realities of Crossbell head-on. This is the story of our young heroes, the barriers before them, and the people who live in the night and shadows of Crossbell City. So is this the... Oh, here it is. Oh, okay, so it continues into the... Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, is there an easy way to... okay, so I just click on my keyboard since, like, for some reason clicking with my left mouse seems a little bit off. Okay. So, 2. Clash with the Mafia. Crossbow shadows run deep. Long ago, an Imperial Mafia called Revash & Co. moved into Crossbell. The Mafia rooted itself in the city, and began raking in Mira. In turn came Heiyu, a Republican crime syndicate. Amidst Crossbell's rekindled chaos, the shadows began to stir. Frustrated with the police's inability to act, Lloyd and the rest of the SSS decided to take matters into their own hands. The Mafia's experimental warhounds, the request of Arkanseal's newest artist, Rishia, and the attempted assassination of Mayor McDowell. The roots of this land's ills were the distortions that manipulated it. Because of Crossbell's position, wedged between the major powers of the Empire and Republic, it was not afforded the respect or dignity it deserved as an autonomous state. Even Ellie's grandfather, the mayor and state representative, was bound by those distortions, unable to resolve the suffering. The SSS clashed against barriers that had never been overcome before. Oh my god, take a shot every time you read the word barrier. Get the barrier. Aw, Kia! And as Crossbell was, nothing could be done to mend its distortion. However, the problem could not simply be ignored. The Special Support Section endured the dissonance between their ideals and the harsh reality that surrounded them. Though at times they disagreed and fought, these experiences allowed the SSS to grow closer and stronger. And then, they met a young girl. Hidden amidst the dubious goods meant to be sold at the Mafia's clandestine auction was a girl with no memories, Kia. It is our duty to protect this girl. The 4 officers were in agreement. While the uncertainty and gloom of Crossbell persisted, our 4 heroes were finally able to affirm their convictions. Protect what's important, never give up, and get over the barriers of Crossbell. Take another shot. These became the guiding principles of the SSS. Guy Bannings, Lloyd's late older brother, held the very same beliefs until he was killed in the line of duty. 4. Actions of the DG cult. Also, I still feel dumb with like pronouncing D there 4G in the previous playthrough, but I'll live with it. Once again, the shadows began to stir. The coming wave was unlike any that preceded it. An illegal drug, Gnosis, circulated on the black market. It enhanced the user's physical abilities to abnormal degrees and even granted a miraculous boost to their intuition and luck. One day, all the users of the drug, along with the mafia who distributed it, suddenly vanished without a trace. Long ago, a strange religious sect settled in Crossbell, known now as the DG cult. They rejected the teachings of the goddess and worshipped devils. For unknown reasons, these heretics conducted a series of human experiments across the continent. The cult was eventually brought down by Guy Bannings and his team 6 years ago, but not before it could do permanent emotional damage to a young Tio Plato. Now that very cult had returned to Crossbell. The shadows began to engulf everything. The Guardian Force was drugged by Gnosis by the cult's leader, Joachim Guenter. Using the drug's power, he manipulated the CGF to attack and capture Crossbell City. The police were suppressed, and chaos ran amok throughout the city. Joachim claimed that Kia was the divine child, the object of the cult's worship. He demanded her return so that she could become the true god. Overwhelming darkness barred the SSS's way. But in the end, they won. It took the combined strength of many friends and allies. But the SSS finally managed to overcome one of the barriers taking another shot on their path. Joachim Guenter's ambitions died alongside him. Those being controlled regained their freedom, and Kia remained safe. It seemed that Crossbell would have a bright future. Well, at least until that day. And that's the synopsis of Trails from Zero so far. And if you want more, oh my goodness. You know, fuck it, let's go through everything. I'm gonna section this off as just the entire, no, I will section this off as episode 0. Well, this is the exposition lore dump episode, guys, so let's get ready. Because I want to show off everything this game has to offer. God forbid if this game also has a New Game Plus dungeon. Fuck me, dude. Alright, episode 0, let's go. Crossbell State. Crossbell sits on the western side of Zemuria, between the Arbonian Empire and the Calvar Republic. While established as an autonomous state 70 years ago, its two neighbors still dispute its ownership. At the center lies Crossbell City, one of the continent's key centers of commerce. In addition to being a key station on the Transcontinental Railroad, the city is home to a major international airport. In recent years, many technologies have been introduced: mobile cars, a skyscraper, the geofront, and the Orbital Network, to name a few. CPD/CGF. Since Crossbell is prohibited from forming a military, the Crossbell Police Department, CPD, is responsible for maintaining order. The Imperial and Republican factions of the Diet used to impede the prosecution of certain crimes, but in the past few months, many faction-aligned politicians have lost their seats, thank God. Unimpeded, the police have begun to regain its reputation. The Crossbell Guardian Force, CGF, handles security outside the urban center. The state's two border gates, Belgard and Tangram, serve as the CGF's base of operations. The Empire and Republic restrict the CGF to only maintain low-level armaments. Take notes, everyone. Special Support Section. The Special Support Section, SSS, is a newly formed police division that our main characters belong to. Though its formation was initially derided for being a publicity stunt, the group proved their worth by solving several major cases. The division patrols the city and assists the citizenry with their everyday affairs. These tasks support requests are considered the group's main responsibility. Recently, 2 new members, Noel Seeker and Wazi Hemisphere, joined the team. Hey, spoilers! Hey! Well, I mean, I knew we'd get them in the party, but it's just like... Bro, you don't have to say it in the fucking terminology. Oh, god damn it. I mean, to be fair, we all knew this was coming, but at the same time, come on. They could have vaguely mentioned recently 2 new members have joined the team. That's it. You don't have to name them. Okay, what they could have done? Like, they could have detected your save file, right? And then if they detect that you're at that point where you actually do have them in your party, then it updates. Before that, if you don't even have a save file, just leave it vague. Please, it's a little bit of extra work to change out like a small thing, but come on! Oh, I have a feeling I'm gonna spoil myself for other stuff I look up, but I mean, I'm committing for this episode 0 section. Erbonian Empire. The Erbonian Empire, the Erbonian Empire, large country to the west of Crossbell. On its border with Crossbell lies Guerrilla Fortress. In addition to its standing army, Erbonia has provincial armies led by the noble houses to abate the pressure exerted from surrounding countries. In recent years, Gileath Osborne, the Blood and Iron Chancellor, has led many efforts to modernize the country, including a completion of the national railway network. Through his work, the power dynamic of the country has shifted away from the old regime of noble control. The current emperor is Eugen Rhys Arnor III. Eugen? Yeah. Republic of Calvard. The Republic of Calvard is situated to the east of Crossbell. Near its border with Crossbell is the port city of Altair. Due to its large geographical size and policy of open immigration from the east, Calvard has become increasingly culturally diverse. The Republic of Calvard and the Erbonian Empire have a long-standing history of conflict. Presently, the two hold joint suzerainty over Crossbell. The sitting president is Samuel Rocksmith. Liberal Kingdom. The Liberal Kingdom is situated in the southwest part of the Zemurian continent. Rich in nature and history, the kingdom is ruled by the long-lived Queen Alicia II, a staunch advocate for peace. While a humble nation compared to those around it, its bountiful Septian reserves, advanced technological capabilities, and Queen Alicia's skillful diplomacy allow it to stand on equal footing with any other. Last year, a large object of unknown origin appeared above Valeria Lake, disabling orbits nationwide. This crisis was resolved through the joint efforts of the Royal Army and the Bracer Guild. Principality of Remiferia. The Principality of Remiferia is situated in northern Zemuria, and, while the cold can be intense, it is blessed with abundant forests and lakes. The scenic views charm visiting sightseers. Its current leader is Prince Albert von Bartholomeus. Bleh. The Principality is also famous for its advanced healthcare services and concentration of the continent's medical technology manufacturing, which together helps cultivate and attract the most excellent medical doctors. St. Ursula Medical College, located in Crossbell State, was founded with the cooperation of the Principality. Orbments and Enigmas. Orbment is the general term for devices that draw orbal energy from a mineral called septium to produce various effects. The first orbments were developed around 50 years ago. Since then, their use has been applied to many facets of life, and society has developed in turn. Orbal technology has been used to construct airships, trains, and cars. Alongside these technologies, the combat orbment has also become popular. The latest model, the Enigma, can not only cast orbal arts, but also sports communication functions, making it useful for police and bracers alike. The IBC. The International Bank of Crossbell, IBC, holds and manages the greatest gross sum of assets on the continent. The institution has been a supporter of Crossbell since its founding and now operates in numerous international markets. In recent years, the IBC has managed the Michelin Health Resort and expanded it with a theme park, Michelin Wonderland. It has also invested in the Orbal Network project among other endeavors. Ark and Seal. Ark and Seal is the famous theater troupe hailing from Crossbell State. Their acrobatic and passionate performances continue to draw large crowds. Their die-hard fans can be found across the continent. The lead actress, Ilia Platier, known as the Fervent Dancer, was joined by newcomer Rishia Mao this year, who made an electrifying debut. She has already garnered many fans. Due to a limited number of shows and seating, Arkansas tickets are rare and costly items. Many citizens envy ticket holders. Revash & Co. Revash was a large mafia organization that once ruled over Crossbell's underworld. The group amassed its fortune by smuggling goods to and from the Empire and Republic, using its ties to influential congressmen. Revash expanded its operations into weapon smuggling, robbery, mirror laundering, and other illegal practices. Following the recent cult incident, Don Marconi was arrested along with the rest of the organization's leadership. Since its dissolution, the former mafia's compound has gone up for sale. Who would take up that place then? Heyu Trading, what does LTD mean again? I forget. Heyu is an Eastern trading company that established residence in the Harbor District. Despite its outward guise of a harmless trading company, Heyu is a massive crime syndicate. Hailing from the Republic's eastern quarter, all of its employees are skilled martial artists. Under the leadership of Cao Li, the branch contested Revash for control of Crossbell's underworld. Though its rival Revash may be gone, Heiyu's scheming to obtain power has only just begun. Bracer Guild. The Bracer Guild is a non-governmental organization that strives for peace over all else. Having guild branches across the continent has gained it considerable political clout. Its guiding principle, to put the safety and civilians above all else, is both its greatest strength and a handicap, as it cannot involve itself in political matters unless citizens are directly threatened. In Crossbell, many international incidents have attracted strong bracers such as Arios McLean, a rare A-rank bracer, known as the Divine Blade of Wind. They support the citizenry directly. You know, I could have named Estelle up there, but I only ended up having her B+ in second chapter. I still feel bad about missing that like 1 or 2 side quests in first chapter. Although I'm conflicted on having like a spoiler-free missable guide on the side, but I think for the sake of the playthrough, I think I won't have the missable guide up. Although if people happen to pop in and ask if like and they know about the game and maybe I get really curious, maybe I'll ask. But until that happens, I'll play without a guide. Or someone guiding me. Septian Church. The Septian Church is the most widespread religion in Zemuria and is based on the worship of the sky goddess, Eidos. Its high seat is in the holy city of Arteria. Although its influence has decreased somewhat since the Obel Revolution, the church maintains significant influence over the continent. The Septian Church is a pillar of education and medicine. Many children attend the church's form of primary education, Sunday school. Jaegers. Jaeger is the term for exceptionally skilled and battle-hardened mercenaries that work for the highest bidder. These combat specialists will take on jobs involving guarding VIPs, sabotage, or even war. Obtaining Mira is a Jaeger's primary objective, so they are often employed as private armies. Naturally, their philosophy is at odds with the Bracer Guild, and some countries have outlawed the employment of Jaeger Corps. The two most powerful Jaeger Corps in Western Zemuria are Zephyr and the Red Constellation. Their famed and intense rivalry continues to this day. And remember, if I remember correctly, Garcia was he like a general commander, or I forget like the exact ranking within Zephyr. And Red Constellation, we heard mentions of it and a little bit of history, but yeah, in Trails from Zero, we learned that Randy used to be part of the Red Constellation, whose father was at the head of this Jaeger Corps. But now Randy's here, well, moved away from that life to work in the SSS and everything. Although, with recent events and probably events to come up, probably gonna have the Red Constellation, maybe Zephyr as well, rear their ugly heads at some point in this game. You know, probably to provide closure. I mean, actually, did they talk much about Randy's father? I don't think so. I would assume he's still alive. Just Randy wouldn't, understandably, doesn't want to talk about it. I wonder if we'll actually meet him. DG Cult. The DG Cult was a secretive order that took root in Crossbell during the Middle Ages. Though worshipping demons and performing through worshipping demons and performing repulsive ceremonies, they wished to find truth by rejecting the goddess of the sky. Under the guise of ceremony, the cult conducted various human experiments. Through such acts, Gnosis was created and chaos ensued. The DG cult survived up until the modern era, but due to an international search and destroy operation, as well as the work of our protagonists, the cult was finally eradicated for good. The Cult Incident. The Cult Incident was a plot carried out by the DG Cult's High Priest Joachim Gwenter. While working incognito in Crossbell, Joachim perfected Gnosis and by blackmailing Chairman Hartman and Revash, gained dominance of Crossbell's underworld. Those who took Gnosis were manipulated from afar and sent to attack Crossbell City. The manipulated assault aimed to capture the Divine Child, better known as Kia, the girl the SSS had rescued. Joachim had explained that she was to become their god. In pursuit of these twisted delusions, there were many victims, including Teo Plato and Ren Hayworth. Ancient Zemurian civilization. The people who once prospered on the Zemurian continent, it is said they possessed more advanced technologies than any used in modern times. Contemporary orbits were reverse engineered from ancient Zemurian technology. Though few details are known about the lost civilization, the general populace knows of it through its many ruins left throughout the continent. Last year in the Liberal Kingdom, southwest of Crossbell, a giant floating city appeared, suspected to be from the ancient Zemurian era. The incident has since become a hot topic of conversation. Artifacts. Artifact is the general term for an orbital device created by the ancient Zemurian civilization. Their unbelievable power to create supernatural phenomena is not yet understood by modern science. The use of artifacts is strictly prohibited by the Septian Church. Their Grousritter specialize in recovery and sealing, among other things. The greatest and most powerful artifacts were known as the Septarians. They were gifts the ancient Zemurians received from the goddess of the sky to build and maintain their societies. The Great Collapse. The Great Collapse is speculated to be a natural disaster that caused the ancient Zemurian civilization to vanish 1200 years ago. Few details are known about the event. The end of this ancient civilization also marked the beginning of the Dark Ages. Nearly all records made before the Great Collapse have been lost, including the legend of the Septarians. Many have become interested in the wisdom of the ancient civilization and have begun to unravel its mysteries. Society of Ouroboros. A mysterious organization that operates from the shadows across the continent. It is led by the Grand Master, who commands the 7 Anguis, who in turn command an unknown number of enforcers. The society possesses advanced technology and makes use of flying fortresses and hordes of archaisms. The enforcers each possess incredible otherworldly powers said to be granted to them by the Grand Master. Despite their international presence, they have managed to avoid becoming a household name. Not even the Bracergill has a clear understanding of the organization's plans or goals. Well. Okay. Okay. we're gonna be here for a while. This really is gonna be like an hour-long episode 0, huh? Well, actually, oh, okay, so you can just press X to go straight to the next one. Okay. Lloyd Bannings, a rookie detective working for the Crossbell Police Department and the main character of the story. He strives to oppose injustice with his straightforward attitude. In his short time on the force, he's faced many challenges. Lloyd's Tonfa specialized in incapacitating and neutralizing enemies. 3 years ago, he lost his older brother, Guy. Ellie McDowell, granddaughter of Speaker McDowell, the former mayor of Crossbell City. Former mayor? Wait, did he announce his retire? Oh, god damn. I mean, like, it was kind of expected, I think. I think they mentioned this, but... okay. While sociable and academically accomplished, she is also a skilled markswoman. Ellie joined the police force in search for a way to alter the deteriorating political climate. For now, aims to serve the people as a member of the Special Support Section. Tio Plato, a young girl who transferred to the Special Support Section from the continent's leader in orbital technology, the Epstein Foundation. Her cold demeanor and manner of speech belie her true feelings. Tio made friends, faced her past, opened her heart to the SSS. She wields an orbital staff which can cast powerful arts. Randy Orlando, a former guardsman who transferred from the CGF to the Special Support Section. Though he seems like a carefree playboy, he acts as the reliable and seasoned senior of the group. Full name: Randolph Orlando. He was once a Jaeger associated with the Red Constellation, but now deeply regrets the lives he took. His weapon of choice is the stun halberd. Chief Sergey. Full name: Sergey Lowe. He is the chief and creator of the Special Support Section. Though he founded the team with good intentions, his laissez-faire attitude leads him to only advise the SSS on rare occasion. He once led a legendary police squad, and considered even more accomplished than the 1st Division. Despite his record, police leadership consider him a nuisance. Detective Dudley. Full name: Alex Dudley. A senior detective of the renowned 1st Division. He is highly capable, but very strict. At first he was skeptical of the Special Support Section's way of doing things, but now acknowledges their value. Dudley is intelligent, well-trained, and highly skilled with his military-grade orbital gun. Noelle Seeker, a CGF guardswoman. Her impeccable firearm and driving skills led to a promotion to Sergeant Major at a remarkably young age. Noelle is both cheerful and sociable. She has been a long-time collaborator of Lloyd and the others. Currently, she is on loan from the CGF and as an associate member of the SSS. Brand Seeker, a police officer who serves as a receptionist of the orbital communications operator at the CPD precinct. She serves the SSS from afar. Though Fran's inexperience causes her to make some mistakes, she is cheerful, hardworking, and kind to everyone. She really loves her older sister, Noelle. Commander Sonia Bales, the commander of the CGF. Her expertise has earned the respect of the guardsmen, even in her previous position as deputy commander. Oh, she got promoted? Huh. I mean, it kind of makes sense given what happened at Belgard Gate, but man, more spoilers. She firmly kept the CGF together despite the efforts of the blatantly corrupt former commander. Sonia became the CGS commander following the arrest of her predecessor. From her office in Belgard Gate, she's doing her best to rebuild the force and restore the public's trust in it. Kia, a young girl with amnesia who was taken in by Lloyd and the others. Due to her bright and innocent personality, she is universally loved. Kia was the main target of the cult incident. She now lives with the Special Support Section and attends Sunday school. From time to time, she displays mysterious powers. Zeit. The Special Support Section treats him like a normal dog, but in actuality, he is a divine wolf spoken of in Crossbell legends. Despite his pompous attitude, Zeit won't hesitate to jump in and save the day when the SSS is in need. Seemingly, only Tio and Kia can understand him. Cecile Lewis, the head nurse at the St. Ursula Medical College. She's known Lloyd since he was a kid. She treats him as if he were her little brother. Even though she can be a bit of an airhead, she is patient, strong-willed, and beloved. Cecile is a good friend of the famed Ilya Platier. She was also the fiancée of Guy Bannings. Unfortunately, he was killed in the line of duty 3 years ago. Jonah Sacred, a genius hacker who received his education from the Epstein Foundation. He's arrogant, impolite, and often off in his own little world. Tio tends to get the better of him. During his time at the Foundation, Jonah was often scolded for his misbehavior. Now he does as he pleases, working as an information broker on Crossbell's Orbital Network. The newest performer of the continent-famous theater troupe Arc-en-Ciel. Her latent talent led to a fantastic debut, which quickly garnered her many fans. She was discovered by Ilya Platier while visiting from the Republic, which she has been practicing hard ever since. Yin. The legendary assassin hailing from the Republic's eastern quarter, they strike fear in the hearts of their targets with superb technique and mysterious weapons. Yin's true identity is Rixia Mao, as evidenced by the end of Chapter 2 in the previous game. Since meeting Ilya, she has been drawn down the path of the performer and away from her life as a killer. Ilya Platier. Arc-en-Ciel's top performer, known as the Fervent Dancer, her passionate dancing and acting captivate audiences. She is a beloved celebrity both at home and abroad. Ilya is bold, pushy, and cares little for things that don't have to do with the performing arts. Recently, she discovered Sully's latent talent and began looking after her. Sully Atreides, Arc-en-Ciel's new assistant and trainee. She tends to be blunt and is sometimes mistaken for a boy because she rarely shows her girly side. Sully lived in poverty and was jealous of Ilya's fame, so she broke into her apartment. Surprisingly, Ilya became interested in Sully's potential and took her in. She secretly practices every day. Wazzy Hemisphere, a composed androgynous boy who leads one of the downtown gangs, the Testaments. He is cynical, mysterious, and secretly works as a host on the side. For reasons unknown, he recently joined the police to the special support section. As a close combat specialist, he uses his nimble footwork to to his advantage in mid-air battles. How do you use nimble footwork in mid-air? Sure. Wild Whales. The behemoth leader of the Saber Vipers. His strength and ferocity have led his gang members to rally around him. He actually cares deeply for his followers, and they in turn look up to him. Wald's greatest rival is Wazzy of the Testaments gang. They often come into conflict with one another, but seemingly understand each other on a deeper level. His weapon of choice is a chain-wrapped wooden sword. Grace Lynn, a reporter for the Crossbell Times. She is somewhat shameless, and often forces people into interviews. More than a few of her articles have had critical views of the special support section. Grace tends to get carried away. Despite that, she is a good writer, and her articles always represent her sense of justice. She knew Guy Bannings when he was still alive. Don Marconi, Revesh & Co.'s fat, bald, and cruel leader. Oh my god, hey Natty, how you doing? He uses connection to the former speaker of the Diet, Hartman, to gain control of Crossbell's underworld. Marconi planned to join forces with the DG cult's high priest Joaquin Winter, but was betrayed. He's now being held in state prison alongside his subordinates. Garcia Rossi, a large man who publicly was Revash & Co.'s business manager. Privately, he was the underboss and oversaw much of the business's work. Garcia is an experienced Jaeger and a master of close combat techniques. He waged fierce battles with a rival, the crime syndicate Heyu. He is a principled man and opposed Revash joining forces with the DG cult. Cao Li, the manager of Heyu Trading, Crossbell's branch, which was established last year. Unbeknownst to the public, Heyu is a massive crime syndicate based in the Republic. He aims to take full control of Crossbell's underworld. Cao is cunning and employs the assassin Yin. He's been oddly cooperative with the police. Now that Revash is gone, Cao's stage is set. Arios McLean. the strongest A-rank bracer of the Bracer Guild's Crossbell branch. Thanks to his, oh my god, that double space, his keen problem-solving abilities and swordsmanship, he earned the title Divine Blade of Wind. While the people see the police as cowards, Arios is considered a hero. Despite his fame, he's stoic, and even declined a promotion to S-rank bracer, a prestigious honor that only a chosen few across the continent have attained. Estelle Bright, a spirited bracer from the Libro Kingdom and the protagonist of the Trails in the Sky games. She has grown a lot as a person and became an ace of the Bracer Guild. Were it not for her help, the SSS may not have been able to resolve the cult incident. After the incident, Estelle returned to Libro with Joshua and Ren. Joshua Bright, Estelle's adopted brother, partner, and boyfriend. He's a secondary protagonist of the Trails in the Sky games. Joshua honed many skills during his time as a member of the Society of Ouroboros. He and Estelle now care for Ren, another former member. Shizuku McLean, Arios' daughter. She has been hospitalized at St. Ursula Medical College for a long time. Years ago, she was blinded in an accident. Oh, right, did I mistakenly say at one point that she was born blind? Whoops, my bad. And is now undergoing treatment to restore her eyesight. Shizuku is kind, does not seem to mind her condition too much. She loves her father and Kia, whom she became fast friends with when they first met at the hospital. Ren Hayworth, an enigmatic girl with cat-like whimsy. While precocious and curious, she is also the Society's cruel enforcer, number 15. Ren, hidden crossbow, chose to simply observe the dissolution of the cult that once ruined her life. Her partner is Pattermatter. You know, I was expecting an entry for Pattermatter. Mayor Croix, full name, Dieter Croix, a compassionate man who is both the CEO of the IBC, as well as the new mayor of Crossbell City. Oh. Man, I mean, I know this is stuff they probably go over like in the first few minutes of the prologue, but god damn it. I mean, I can't really blame them, honestly. I should really blame myself for going through all this first without going through like the prologue. Oh well. He aims to change Crossbell's stagnant political climate with his unconventional negotiation style. Dieter has known Ellie and her family for a long time. He takes a keen interest in the SSS and does what he can to support them. So wait, he's both the CEO of IBC and the mayor of Crossbell City at the same time? God damn. The man's already the dude's already a busy man. Now he got to oversee a corrupt city and like political climate and all that stuff. Oh dear God. Although they did say in the previous entry or something that like a lot of the corrupt politicians were kicked out. But I mean, I'm sure there's still remnants or something like that, but we'll have to see. Maria Belcroix, Mayor Croix's only daughter. She is a talented young woman who helps her father run the IBC. She serves on the bank's board of directors and oversees the Oval Network project in Crossbell and manages Michelin Health Resort. Though Maria Bell is typically cool-headed, she can be a bit haughty. She's deeply concerned about her childhood friend Ellie and is hostile to any man that approaches her. Looks at the chokehold that she held Lloyd in when they had a moment together. Speaker McDowell. Spear. All this talking is already getting to me. The former mayor of Crossbell City and Ellie's grandfather. He is considered one of the few sensible politicians in Crossbell, thanks to his neutral position and refusal to side with either of the major powers as factions. Speaker McDowell assisted Mayor Croix in restoring order in the wake of the cult incident. He maintains a steadfast commitment to elevating Crossbell's standing on the international stage. Mr. Grimwood, full name, Ian Grimwood. He works in his law office on West Street, giving legal advice to companies and private citizens alike. His expertise is well known and even earned him the nickname Grizzly Grim. Mr. Grimwood's line of work lends him a sizable information network. Visiting his office is sure to yield some useful information. Meister Jorg, full name, Jorg Rosenberg. He is an unsociable old man who runs the doll studio off of Maine's Mountain Path. Rosenberg is a genius doll maker whose creations range from porcelain dolls to mechanical automata, Unbeknownst to those who admire his work, he is the Meister of the Society's 13 factories. Ernest Reese, Speaker McDowell's former aide. His charisma and eloquence made him a promising upcoming politician, yet his thirst for power led him to join the DG cult. Ernest is suspected to be the only person in possession of Gnosis following the cult's collapse. He was once Ellie's mentor. Dr. Gwenter, full name, Joachim Gwenter. He was a well-respected associate professor at the St. Ursula Medical College specializing in pharmaceutical and neurological research. However, behind his facade, Joachim was the high priest of the DG cult that was nearly wiped out 6 years ago. While in disguise, he perfected Gnosis and awakened Kia in the cult's holy grounds. Kilika Ruran, a talented entertainment producer from Calvard. She's mature, possesses impeccable foresight, and always offers helpful advice. Amidst her work as a producer, Kilika seems to have some affiliation with the Republican president's Rocksmith agency that we're all too familiar with in Trails of Third. As in just the fact that, well, she's working for the intelligence division now. And I assume I'd be surprised if the entertainment producer thing is like a legitimate thing. But yeah, it's 95% sure a facade as a cover. Hey Abyss, how you doing? We're doing the episode 0 recap and just going over all of the story recap, the character details, and terminology. We're on the latter end right now, and we'll begin the game shortly. Lecter Arundel, the indulgent son of a rich Erbonian family. During his vacation to Crossbell, he often acted suspiciously and seemed to find amusement in others' confusion. Oddly enough, things always go well when he's around. Though Lecter's relation to the Imperial Intelligence Division is unclear, he seems to actually be a confidant of the Blood and Iron Chancellor, Gileath Osborne. Okay. And that is the end of the backstory episode 0 recap. Oh, hope you guys enjoy that refresher. I know I did, sort of. But okay.